Oh my gosh, hello you guys, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I'm going to try and keep this one short because I had no intention of making a video today. But I do have to address yesterday's video. To everybody who liked, who sent me love, thank you so much. But I thought, instead of responding to each and every individual comment, it'd be better if I just put something out there. And I'm going to start with a disclaimer in that, like my channel, when I began this channel back whenever, I was, oh goodness, I was in such a broken state, and transitioning had really proven to be hard for me. And by the time I started shooting videos, I really just wanted to put my story out there and talk about some of the mistakes and the hurdles that I've gone through, because I think it's when we talk about our mistakes that we can actually learn and heal. You know what I mean? So I've always tried to just be authentic about how I've experienced the world. So with the video that I made, it was actually funny. So yes. I slid into them DMs, girl. I slid into Moran's DMs because I hate to say it, I was starstruck. I think for me, being someone who's trans and black and coming across his channel, I was so impressed that there was this man who, felt so strongly about protecting the rights of black women, protecting just talking about what was right. He was the epitome of the social justice warrior in that it didn't matter who you were, he would call you out. He would call you out. And a lot of his content, most of it, was spot on. And I definitely did really, really enjoy a lot of his content because of that. And it's funny because, you watch these people on screen and you feel a connection to them. You almost feel like you know them. And you feel that they are about what they say they're about. And when you encounter the person and they're very, very different from their online persona, it is a little bit alarming. It's kind of like meeting a pastor. If I were to meet Pastor Joel Osteen and he were to swear at me, I'd be taken aback. I would be taken aback because I think these people often, they put so much effort into creating a persona that the reality of who they are is often lost in the beautiful words that they speak. And I think the reality of who Murad was definitely lost. But now, people can see the forest through the trees. Do I think Murad is a bad person? No, not at all. Do I agree with what he did? Not at all. So before we talk about the actual scandal, I just want to first address a few things that I have said. I jumped into those DMs, girl, because I was starstruck, and I was definitely excited to meet up with this person. And I think that's such a common millennial mistake that we make. We reach out to these people and we want to be a part of whatever is going on there. You know what I mean? Not understanding the person is not what they're presenting themselves to be. When I talked to him, I think the reason that his message that, when he said, oh, it's not really my scene, lol, I think the reason it sort of took me aback was he wasn't referring to it's not really Christabel's scene. He was referring to it's not really his scene. I should have probably rephrased that better, but he made a joke that the gay scene was not his scene, and he ended it with laugh out loud. And the only reason I was surprised was, he was sleeping over at this gay guy's house, and I mean, by the end of it, it was pretty evident that there was going to be some sort of intercourse. And I had already understood, or I thought I understood, the fact that, this guy Murad, he was somebody who I thought engaged in intercourse with men and women. That's what I believed. So I think when I saw that text message, when he said it wasn't really, when he said it's not really my scene, referring to himself, I was like, oh, like it just took me off by surprise. But I was like, hey, maybe I was assuming that he was one way and he's not. My friend, on the other hand, he was more concerned and he did try to warn me because I think he understood the dynamics of that group. He understood that although it wasn't really LGBT, it was all gay men, and although we are all boxed in the same group, it's important to understand that people who have been victimized will cling on to whatever perceived privilege they believe they have. So it's very common within the gay community to find homophobia from straight acting gay men. It's very common to find bisexual men who are homophobic. It's very common to find homosexual men that are transphobic, trans women that are homophobic, and it's very, very common, unfortunately, to find racism within the greater LGBTQ plus community. In fact, I think the racism in the LGBT plus community is heightened. It's more. It's more because you have to think of it in this way. If you're born in a society that teaches you one group is better than another, one action is better than another, when in reality that's not the case, you fear that the group that you're born into, let's say the white group or the Arab group or whatever group, will reject you because you are gay or trans or whatnot. So you become more racist or more of something else that is negative as a way to sort of protect yourself and as a way to sort of cling on to the little bit of privilege that you may think that you have. And look, my friend understood that. I didn't understand that. So I went in with hope in my eyes and love in my heart, expecting that the person who said online that he protects black women would protect black women in a real life situation. Yes, it does. I mean, that's a wild assumption for me to make, but I really did believe that. I really, really, really did believe that. So, I mean, when I had my interaction and I met him, to say that I was stunned or shocked would be an understatement because it really was like I was talking to his brother, like somebody else that wasn't him. But bless, it's one of those things. Everybody is here on this earth trying to do the very best that they can with the understanding that they have. And Murad is no exception. My only real issue with the whole scandal that broke out, and I didn't really talk about this scandal because, fine, so Murad was exposed for having a foot fetish, right? Everyone has fetishes. I am someone's fetish, and a sexy fetish at that. My fetish, I like cartoons. Hercules, he was the Aladdin gladiator girl. Aladdin does things to me. But everybody has things that they sort of are aroused by. And sometimes the things that we find arousing are not politically correct. Now, I'm not going to say the word, but our play is very, very common. I mean, I've had ex-boyfriends who've tried to do it with me, and I just have never been comfortable with it. But it's just the fact that he made videos on getting, hitting people with his feet and using a plethora of racial slurs that I had not even heard. I was like, a lot of the racial slurs and a lot of, like, it was very creative. I will say that. And on the one hand, you're left thinking, was this just, I don't know, was it like literally just play, they didn't mean it? Or is it that deep down inside, he does hold these feelings? And you have to ask yourself that, because a lot of the things, I mean, a lot of those tweets that had come out and a lot of the videos that had come out, they were alarming. They were alarming. But hey, it's one of those things. People aren't always what they post to be. And I think the shock and the outrage comes from the fact that we really believed in this person. We really believed him when he said he was for that ish. And I think there are a lot of people who genuinely were hurt. I mean, the last video, when I went through the comment section, I decided not to respond to the videos and just rather put something out. And I could definitely see how a lot of people were really, really, really hurt by what he had said and what he had done. Other people, I think, because they like Murad, and he definitely has a lot of wonderful qualities, as do we all. You know, everybody has wonderful qualities. You know what I mean? So I think for some people, it's really, really hard for them to let go of that, the image they have of him. You know what I mean? And that's okay. That is okay. That's okay. Like, realistically, nobody's getting canceled. Canceling only happens. Canceling only happens to black people. I shouldn't say that, but he's not going to get canceled. He is not going to get canceled. This will blow over. But just know that at the end of the day, like, it's easy for us to sort of look at these people who profess to be all of these wonderful things. It's important to use discernment. It's important to use discernment until you've met the person, until you've actually sat down and gotten their vibe and their energy. You don't know them. And here I was, this silly, like, this silly girl out on Instagram being like, hey. And yeah, you know, like when I met him, it was definitely an unpleasant situation. And I thought it was funny how, like, even the other people around him seemed to have had an issue. So I was just like, you know, I am going to leave this in love and light. I'm going to leave this in love and light. And I really hope that we can use this as a way for us to learn. People aren't always what they're supposed to be, but that's okay. Anyways, I love you guys, and I really hope that we can all just learn from these things. I can't wait to see y'all next one. Now I'm going to end my video the proper way. Bye.